Hello.
Hello.
And welcome to our cooking video.
Wow. Today, we will be showing you how to make a 5-star Michelin meal.
With only one simple ingredient.
Doctors hate it.
Hot dogs.
AKA glizzies. First step is to boil some water. No, this water is not boiled yet, but soon it will be boiled.
Okay. Next step, turn the water on high and make sure you turn the right burner on. Max. Water. Emily Barnes.
And now you will see the water is boiled.
Wow.
So now you gotta take the glizzies and throw them in.
How long do we have to cook them for?
Yes.
Artistry. So, the next step is to remove the hot dogs from the hot dog water. It's very important to not drain, because you're going to want to use that water later.
Let me do it for you. Let me do it for you. Let me do it for you.
Now we just want to continue to allow this to simmer. Now this is a really important step because we're going to get some really good flavor out of this water later. First, we're going to make our first course, which is our appetizer, which is soup.
Yeah. How will we make the soup?
We are going to make the soup in our blender.
So I will now demonstrate how to construct this soup. First, we add a brioche bun. One. Two. Toppings. Ketchup.
For any good soup, you must have a liquid.
Mayonnaise.
Now, your blender should look something like this. So first we have our bun, then we have our hot dog, and then we have our liquids on top.
And now we will blend the soup.
if you find your soup is a little bit dry, go ahead and add some of your hot dog water. Really smack it to get that bread down. Now, you may find that the soup is a little bit thick coming out. Feel welcome to use a spatula if needed. Okay, so next thing we're gonna do is just plate up our soup, and perfect, all you need is a single wedge of bread. So, we're going to cook our entree. So, next thing we're gonna do is turn on the oven to bake at 400. And then we're gonna click start. Next, we are going to make our main course, which is going to be glizzy Wellington. Now, we'll show you how to make it. The first step, as we showed you, is to turn on the oven to preheat to 400. So the next step is to flatten our pastry.
Do not fear if your bread breaks. It is all a part of the creative process. It is just as God intended.
So you need to flatten 3 pieces of bread, and then once you've done that, put 2 of them next to each other. We're going to first add a layer of mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise.
Don't be afraid to put it on real thick.
The thicker the better.
It's true in many ways.
Yes.
A nice 1 centimeter thick layer of mayonnaise. It's time to add the hot dogs. And we're gonna stack them like this. Mayonnaise. And even some ketchup if you like.
Yeah.
Really get it in there. You really want to coat the outside of these with mayonnaise.
Make sure you fill in all the cracks.
Really fill the cracks with this thick white liquid. It's important for the recipe.
It is, in fact, crucial that you fill in all of the cracks with a thick white substance.
You must cream pie the hot dogs. Now that the hot dogs are covered in cum, add your second layer of flattened bread right on top. Don't be afraid if it's crumbled. Now you really want to press down, as Dilsha will demonstrate. You'll see, there's still some tips sticking out from the crack. In this step, you'll want to add your final layer of bread in pieces to the ends. The next step, transfer your dog Wellington onto a parchment-lined baking sheet. Now, we're just going to add our egg wash. Yeah, really make sure you get the egg right on top there. It's okay if you have some on the edges, you know, that'll just cook in the egg and then you have an egg sandwich as well as a glizzy Wellington.
As a treat.
So next, we're gonna bring the tray over to our oven that is now at 400 degrees. The last step before it goes in is to give it a nice drizzle with ketchup. Perfect. Now, put it in the oven. Now that it's been an arbitrary amount of time later, we're going to take out the Wellington. And it should look nice and golden brown like that with some egg on the side. I don't know if we can take this off. Okay. So now we're going to move our Wellington to our plate. Just like that.
Wow.
Wow.
Look at that.
The Wellington. Oh, fuck, that's hot. And now, you gotta spread the buns.
Oh, look at that. Baked glizzy.
Perfect. The dessert. And also, a really important step. Make sure you keep simmering the hot dog water. Always be simmering the hot dog water.
You better be fucking simmering that water.
We're going to be making hot dog parfait. The first step is to finely chop the hot dog.
It just adds more flavor.
You want to make sure you get the breadcrumbs in too. All the flavor on the cutting board is going to be going into this dessert.
You could say parfait perfect.
As you can see, we have our cup from the egg wash. We're going to use that for layering our parfait.
How will you be layering this parfait, Emily?
So, we're going to use a blend of 3 ingredients. Hot dog, mayonnaise, and ketchup. A sprinkle of hot dog. Just like that. Now, we're going to go in with our layer of mayonnaise. We're going to do a nice layer of mayonnaise. It's okay if it gets under your nails. That adds extra flavor to the parfait. Okay, so now that we have our 3 layers in, we're going to repeat. So now we're going to add ketchup. The Heinz brand specifically, this is really important. It's the Heinz. Now a layer of hot dog. Now you want to save some hot dog for the end so you can sprinkle a little bit and garnish on top. So hot dog. See on the board here, I'm saving a little, just a few extras, the smallest pieces for the garnishing. And then we just sprinkle our last little dog pieces on top.
Dogs, you say?
Dogs, you say? No. Okay, and now you should end up with a perfectly layered hot dog, ketchup, and mayonnaise parfait. Now don't you worry, you may be thinking, this is all gonna taste like shit because it's made out of hot dogs. Well, that's where you'd be wrong. First of all, because they're hot dogs and they're delicious. Second of all, we're making a 5-star Michelin meal. Why would we call it 5-star Michelin meal if it wasn't delicious?
Hell yeah!
Okay.
Alright, for our final step, we will be plating the tea. So, as we have mentioned earlier, we have had the boiled glizzy water that we have been simmering since the very beginning. Now, we shall put it to use. Take some cup or scoop or cup-like or spoon-like object. Dip it in to the boiled water. And there you have some glizzy tea that you can now enjoy in a mug of your choice.
This one's for virgins only though.
Yeah.
So we can't use it, but first we have our appetizer. which is our glizzy soup. And as you can see here, there is a lovely film forming on top. See, it's getting kind of matte, not as shiny as before. That's what we want. That is perfect.
This is our lovely glizzy Wellington that we have shown you how to construct. And then for our dessert, we have glizzy parfait. See all those lovely layers. And to wind down, we have glizzy tea. Yum. And that concludes how to make this 5-star Michelin meal. And now we will move on to the taste test.
Okay, so now it's time for the taste test.
Wow.
So, to prove to you that this is a delicious meal, Dilsha and I will be consuming and swallowing some of this soup. I've got to get some bread in there too.
Oh yeah.
Bon appetit. That's hot dog soup right there.
Real skill issue.
Have it with the bread.
Are you done with your soup?
Yeah.
Well, now, once you are done with your soup, we'll move on to the entree. Make sure you get some glizzy with that.
Yeah, you really want the thick white creamy sauce with it. That's good.
The flavor the thick white creamy sauce adds to this.
Yeah, the hot dog soup really prepares you for the entree. The hot dog Wellington.
They really complement each other. Please do not forget to consume the soup before you move on to the entree.
You must consume the soup in its entirety.
As we demonstrated.
As we very clearly demonstrated. You must also consume the Wellington in its entirety before we can move on to our dessert. Now, after we've finished those 2 delicious courses, it's time to move on to our dessert. Our glizzy parfait. With the touch tips. Time to dig in.
Make sure you get at least one of all 3 layers. Very mayo. If you can imagine mayo with a slight hint of ketchup, with some rubbery bits inside, that's exactly what this bad boy tastes like.
If you're a fan of textured foods, this is perfect for you.
Or not, because of the lack of texture. We'll wind down with a nice glass of tea from this cup that is definitely not for virgins. Cold tea.
I love hot dog flavored water.
And with that, we've concluded our taste test of all the delicious meals that we have made today. What are your final thoughts, Emily?
My thoughts are that that's definitely a 5-star Michelin meal.
Oh, fuck yeah, bud.